The Supercommittee is a safety valve, in a sense, for democracy, because without it, there would have been no option, probably, for a Congress that can't seem to get its act together to produce a legislative fix to the big problems in our society. So the Congress came up with this idea of Supercommittee, basically, like they did the Base Closing Commission or the 9/11 Commission. So it's a reflection that the system doesn't work very well in resolving the debt issue, certainly. And it's not a very good idea. It was probably about the only thing they could work together on, a compromise to kind of get us to the next level. And let's hope that it works, because if it doesn't work, it's a big black mark on the ability of our system of government to work. And it means all sorts of horrendous implications if, in fact, they can't get the job done. It means something called sequestration, which means big, enormous cuts in the defense budget and in Medicare. And, you know, I'm not for a bloated defense budget, but I'm not sure we should be cutting 20 and 30% off the top of our defense budget right now. I don't think that's good for the national security of the United States. So there are incentives built in to try to get these folks to try to do their best. The question is, you know, do they have the political will to make tough decisions to get the job done? I hope they do, but the jury's out. Either we do something like this, or we have some sort of either more serious constitutional challenge to our political system, or we really open up the door to a third-party movement in this country. Because if this doesn't work, I think the public is going to rise up and say, there are serious defects in our political system, and we've got to make much more fundamental changes. The incentives now are not encouraging compromise. The incentives of saturation for money all the time, political money, the 24/7 media markets, the nature of redistricting, where our districts are now much more homogeneous, which means most of the challenges to congressmen come in their own primaries, not in the general election, and other factors lead to a situation where a lot of people don't want to take any political risks at all. And so the Supercommittee may be a way that you evolve into something which is more willing to take risks for the future of the country. Our country was set up to make it very difficult to govern. After all, we have something called separation of powers in America, which says the legislature and the executive are equal. Well, virtually no system of government in the world has that. Most of them have parliamentary systems where, you know, the executive and the legislature are one. Why'd they set it up this way? Because they wanted to have one foot on the brake and one foot on the accelerator, because they didn't want too much action by government. I mean, they came here to escape political repression. Well, that's great, and I believe in all that civil liberties and all the things that you have to protect individual rights. But what happens when you have serious, serious national problems, and you have to act in order to protect the public interest? And also you have to act in competition with countries in the world which are excelling in areas like education, energy, manufacturing. The choice is, do we want to continue to be a strong country with investments in our future and be a competitive force in the rest of the world, or do we want to withdraw and become much more inward? And I don't think we want to go that route myself. I don't think most congressmen want to go that route either. The other thing is, there are serious philosophical differences between the parties. Just that's the way of the world. And so I think one of our goals is to try to find ways to help bridge the differences, the ideological differences, by getting people to work together, know each other, and respect each other. And I think that will help. We do that at Aspen, we do it at other places as well.